The Wood Whisperer is sponsored by Powermatic and Typebond. So I got a special treat for you today. I am in Wimberley, Texas at Philip Morley's shop, where I'm actually working with Philip to make this table for the guild. So if you want to get in on this, it's at thewoodwhispererguild.com. But today, our focus is taking a look at Philip's shop. He's got a really great space here, filled with lots of tools and some homemade tools that I think you're really gonna enjoy seeing, as well as one of his homemade jigs, which you can buy the parts for or the plans for it and build it. All right, so let's go to Philip and get a nice little tour.
Hey guys, welcome to the shop. I figured since you're here, I'm gonna show you, do a little shop tour. So the shop is about 750 square feet. So I built this shop about 6 or 7 years ago. I've only actually been operating in it for 5 years as Philip Morley Furniture. And I did pretty much everything from ground up by myself. It took me 2 years. It's not big enough. I have some lumber rack here that works well. I do have other storage units that people don't see that are, outside of the shop that I can store more lumber and a lot of my jigs and fixtures. But when I start a job, I'll bring the wood in, let it acclimate here. You can see a lot of different jigs up on the wall. These guys are the ones for my rocking chairs that I kind of value more than any of my jigs because I've put a lot of time into them. So they just kind of live in here. Other jigs that I don't use that much will live in my storage unit. Typical bench I made when I did my 7-year apprenticeship. The first thing my mentor, Michael Kolker, had me make was my bench. I like it at tall because, and it might be because I'm not strictly a hand tool person, but also even when I do a lot of hand planing, I'm not bending over. And I know like this is typically not a standard size bench, but I made it a little higher, mainly because that's what my mentor's bench was like, and I kind of just copied the height and stuff. Another funny thing about the bench, I am not left-handed. I'm right-handed, but I set it up as a left-handed bench, and it was just strictly, monkey sees, monkeys do type thing. I was just looking at my mentors like, oh, that's where you put the vise, I'll put it there, and then I did it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of backwards. But it works for me. Just typical little tool storage again. Yes, I do use hand tools, but I'm not strictly a hand tool guy. Gotta have it though, obviously. I'm here in Texas, it gets really hot, and so I got a mini split. The mini split, I can't remember the stats on it, but it's I think about the biggest one they did. This one unit works really well. However, I don't have any dust filtration in my shop, so all the dust gets sucked up in there, and I have to clean it on a regular basis. The piping and stuff, that was all me. I wanted it inside because it was ugly, and I didn't want it on the outside of my shop. But you do get a little bit of moisture dripping off that sometimes, so there's that. Bandsaw, I've got 2 of the exact same bandsaws. I do love these bandsaws, and definitely for the price range, they work great. The lathe that rarely gets used. Yes, I have too many planers, Mark, but this is my third planer that obviously sees a lot of use there in the corner. Simple drill press. Like I mentioned in the videos, it's just my rough saw. I don't do anything really fine with this saw. It's just to get my blank out stuff. Yeah, cabinets, don't do cabinets. Don't even look inside there. Just a bunch of crap and sawdust inside of them. And then this is the other bench. So I do have someone that works with me on and off, Amanda, Sawdust Women on Instagram. She's learning and coming along in the craft. She's very skilled, but she'll come here and I got this bench for her. So this is a standard size bench. Which I don't like, and it's just probably what I get used to. And I'm a little bit taller too, so that's probably why. These are just some projects going on. These are my lounge chairs, a box that's going out, all my awards, and only one of these is for first prize. Kind of pathetic. So I do have 2 joiners. I love this joiner because it's got a long bed. I've never had problems with it, just straight out of the box, it worked. I've had it for 11 or 12 years, I believe. I sharpen my knives, so this is straight knives, and I sharpen them and hone them myself, and that way I can get almost like a hand plane shaving, finish off of it. So I like it for that reason. Gotta have the little DeWalt planer. It's a little workhorse, incredibly loud, but I really do like that too. So getting kind of over to this corner, which I kind of call the sanding corner. These are big machines, but a few years back I realized how much time I was wasting doing hand sanding, and so I made these machines. I think I'm the 3rd person to make this particular type edge sander, And what's kind of unique about it, and I'm not sure why someone doesn't make this as a product, is it's got a drag end on it. So the belt's just dragging around this end, which has got the graphite paper around it. And I can do all my flat sanding on this end, and it's just, the results are amazing. Most sanders have like a 4 or 5 inch drum there, and you can't really use it. I mean, you're not going to do a flat with it. So this guy, this guy works really nice. My mentor made one. I believe Gary Weeks made one. So then I went ahead and made one. So this is my stroke sander made by Gary Weeks. They've made it about 30 years ago, and then I bought it from them. Works really well, but it is, you know, it takes a lot of space, but it saves me a lot of time. And again, these are just parts. This is for the lounge chair, stacking up, that needs to get done. Another bandsaw. You know, I just leave a 3/4 inch blade on one and a 1/4 inch blade on the other. It's just one of those time savers. I don't want to keep switching blades out. And then all these jigs, again, are just for like the crest rails for my rocking chair and I think bar stools. I do have a regular table saw, so you know, my Delta over here that I love, but I don't do a whole lot of sheet goods in my shop. So it doesn't get much use for that, mainly for the sled. This guy here, the big elephant in the room, is one of those opportunities. I got this, I couldn't kind of say no to it. And I'm really grateful that I do have it, but it does take a lot of room up. But yeah, it's a combination machine. The question I get asked a lot of times, well, do you get tired of having to break it down and, you know, back and forth? Yeah, if you don't plan your workout well, you're gonna get pretty frustrated. And if you have like multiple people working in your shop, it's gonna be annoying. For the most part, it's very rare where I'm like, dang it, I gotta go back and now I need to break this down and come back. So plan your workout well. I'm usually at one setting for a few hours before I need to change it. So it's not this going back and forth, back and forth. Same with the planer. It's like I do all my joining, flip it up, I do all my planing. I'm there at that setting for 30 minutes or so it doesn't feel like I'm going back and forth a lot. All right, before I let you guys go, I'm just gonna show you a little jig that I came up with a while back that makes slip tenons really easy. This is the Morley Mortiser. I'm really bad at naming things, so everything starts with Morley, so not very original. But the reason I came up with this was essentially to do slip tenons and to do it in a very controlled way. Another nice feature about this, it utilizes these clamps, the micro jig match fit clamps, which kind of was a bit of a game changer for me. I've done many different ways with holes through it and putting the clamps each way, but these really hold it nice. You can move this back and forth to center it, like so. And again, like how I work with most things, everything's referenced from a center line. So you just have crosshairs, and then you can make shims, move your stops, kind of do the calculation for that. More about this that kind of dives a little bit deeper, like how to set it up, how to make the shims. There's also a part that goes in here to reference the center this way, is on my YouTube channel, Philip Morley Furniture. It's somewhere in there, but it's probably just called the Morley Mortiser. And I kind of go in a little more in depth about it. You can buy the plans at philipmorleyfurniture.com for this jig. And you can also buy a flat pack version of this that's made on a CNC. So check it out. I'm gonna go ahead, just pop out a mortise real quick. So the nice thing about this is you have the control because you're trapped in that guide bushing that you can actually ramp it. So you get a really clean mortise. But yeah, so it works really well. And obviously it works just as well with the end grain. Thanks for checking out my shop, and if you want to kind of learn a little bit more about me, you can go to my website, philipmorleyfurniture.com, and be sure to get yourself the Guild Project, the Morley dining table stroke kitchen table, and yeah, follow along and you can build this with me. Thanks.